Woo, we're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. Cleaning off my camera. We're live. We're starting 2 minutes. All right. Got a couple people on. Nice. Thanks for tuning in. I've got it going on over here. Maybe I've got it going on. Let's see what's going on. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, super. I have my hair up. All right, looking good, looking good. Nothing wrong with looking in the mirror or the video and going, looking good, looking good. Confidence is key, folks. No matter what you're doing, be confident. You know, that's the spin instructor in me. It's like yelling at you, you got this. Before we get started, we'll get started in 1 or 2 minutes. If you go to any gym and take a fitness instructor, there's like one of their classes, there's a bunch of different kinds of instructors, right? There's your I'm your bestie. Come on, you can do it. Let's go. You got this, power through. And then there's like your drill instructor, drill sergeant yelling at you and all that. And then we have some people, we don't know what they're saying, but they're awesome. They're moving, they're jamming. So funny. So many. That's the beauty of group fitness, right? We all have our own personalities and bring in our music to the table. All right, 7:01. We are here to talk about some real estate. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode, the third episode of The Real Realtor. I am Sarah Nunley. I am your proud realtor. I am a community association manager licensed by the state of Florida. So I manage condos and HOAs and all of that, townhomes. And I also teach yoga and cycling a couple nights a week up here in Yulee, where I live. Of course, real quick, my broker is with Property Management Partners and Associates, where I've proudly been for 10, going on 11 years now. So absolutely love working there, love what I do. And it all started with the community association manager side and then kind of grown into real estate full time there. So it's Sunday night, guys, kick back. Last week I had the lights off. The first episode I had all the lights on. It was blazing. And so the second episode I was like, I got to get the mood vibe right. Sunday night, we're in our jammies. We've got our drinks right. So let's get the candles going, chill out. Nothing too serious, just having some fun. We'll be on here about 45 minutes or so. If you read the description, I've got some fun agenda topics to chat about tonight. But go ahead, put your questions in the chat, guys. This is live and interactive. And if we don't get to your question for whatever reason, we'll get to it next week. I am on this thing every Sunday night, 7 o'clock. So like, share, subscribe. I really appreciate your engagement and your attention. And please subscribe so I can go live on my cell phone. I have better camera, better microphone, and I can go live at the house tours and the farmers market and places all over Jacksonville. You need 50 YouTube subscribers to go live on your phone. So I'm sure there's plethora of reasons for that. But in any event, go ahead, grab your snack, get comfortable, get your drink. Hope y'all had a great weekend. It's Sunday night. Guys, ready for Thanksgiving? It is this Thursday. If you haven't gotten it together, that's okay. You still have time to go get that turkey and all your fixings and all your stuff. You got a few days. Before Thanksgiving. Okay. Yes, I was going to say I did my Kroger order. Before we talk real estate, hang on. Kroger. Who got the email about Kroger? Listen, we are devastated over here. They're pulling out of Florida. They're closing all of Florida starting January, which really stinks because, as you guys know, I'm a licensed community association manager. I do real estate and I work at a gym. So I'm a busy working mom. I've got 2 kids. It gets wild. So I love my Saturday morning Kroger delivery with my donuts and my coffee. And so anyway, get your Kroger order delivery in. I'm so upset by that. I absolutely love them. I've been a customer for 3 years. So I'm kind of bummed that they're closing. But anyway, go ahead and get settled in. Get your snacks here. Thanksgiving. So today's topic, this is episode number 3. Thank you so much again for joining me. Tonight's episode, and I've got my agenda. I will talk to you for 4 solid hours, but I will give you a 20-minute free, no obligation Zoom call. Just send me an email, nunleysarah@outlook.com with the subject line Zoom, and when you'd like to Zoom, and we'll get on a free 20-minute Zoom, and we'll chat about your real estate goals and your real estate adventures. So tonight, 7:00 p.m., we are here, the Real Estate Talk with your real realtor. Thank you so much. I already told you who I was. Don't forget to go back to episode 1, where I have a little about me, a little longer introduction, because that is episode 1. So if you wanted to know a little bit more about me, make sure you go back and watch episode 1. This week, what are we talking about this week? What's going on in real estate, right? Why are we here? So we got a couple of things. Closing costs, what to expect when you're expecting to close. Ha ha ha. Not talking about kids. I'm done with that. Tell you what, so done. How can I buy a home? Also, how can I buy a home when I need to sell the current home that I'm living in right now? So you're in your house, you really want to sell, you got to relocate for whatever reason. How do you go about navigating those waters, right? So we're going to talk about that. Also, this one's going to be a fun one, guys. AI in real estate. Woo! How to make that work for you as a consumer, and of course, how we can make it work for us too as realtors. Listen, AI, love it or hate it, it's coming. It's here. I'm never going to buy a robot. I'm never going to have one of them suckers walking around my house washing my dishes. Honestly, I'm not that into the AI, but I do love my Chat GPT, and I love how it can help you, the customer, you get some more information when you're looking at real estate or anything else. Quick segment on getting your home ready for the holidays. We've got some quick interior cleaning tips. I've been cleaning this weekend. Have you been cleaning this weekend? Are you ready for Thanksgiving? Are you going to have people over? Listen, as long as you... I wasn't going to say this, but cheesy joke. Just stay away from sex, religion, and politics at the dinner table, and you should be good, okay? And every week, we're going to do monthly and weekly market stats. I'm really excited about that. We have an open house of the week, and of course, our Q&A. So sit back, chill out, grab your snack, your popcorn. I got some popcorn. Go ahead. We're going to join the conversation. Put that Q&A questions in the chat. And where are you watching from, guys? I'm in Yulee, beautiful Yulee, Florida, about 35 minutes north of Jacksonville, Florida, a booming booming in real estate, military town also. It is a coastal town from Jacksonville since 1994. So where are you watching from? Are you in St. Johns County, maybe Duval, Nassau, Clay? We service all of Florida, but those counties I just mentioned, that's my little loop of where I'm at. If you look at Jacksonville, the east-west beltway there, it's a little circle. And we really do have a phenomenal road system. Not saying the traffic is great and the construction is great, but how it's laid out. Jacksonville, honestly, you can get to pretty much anywhere in about 20 minutes. So all right, guys. So thanks again for watching, subscribing. Next week, real quick, before we jump in here, next week, top 5 mistakes first-time home buyers make and how to avoid them. And also the hidden costs of home ownership and how to budget for them. So if you or someone you know is a first-time home buyer, getting ready to jump out there, woo, head first into the market, that's one you don't want to miss. We're going to be talking a lot about some first-time home buyer topics. So definitely pay attention to that if you're a first-time home buyer. And guys, real quick, there's a lot of great programs out there. If you're a first-time home buyer, you don't need to slam down 20%. We're actually going to do a whole episode on that, and we're going to do a first-time home buyer workshop in the new year at my partner's Wildlight Brightway here in Yulee, and it's going to be a first-time home buyer workshop. So we've got a lot of fun stuff planned for my first-time home buyers because it can be so overwhelming. And if you go back to episode 1, you'll see my my horrible real estate story of the lady with her salad in her teeth that told me I could never buy a house and I was too poor. It's a hilarious story. Go back and watch it. But that's why I love this and I do what I do, right? To help those folks. Where there's a will, there's a way. If you're a God-willing, hard-working person, you can buy a house. Don't let the media scare you. You know, I'm all about facts, not fear. All right. So in this episode, we have the closing costs, right? What to expect when you're expecting to close. Y'all like my cheesy jokes? I know you're here for the cheesy jokes, right? We're going to break down where that money goes and how to plan for it. Here we go. I was going to say, okay. I was going to say, I think I was a comedian in another life, but maybe not. My jokes aren't that good. Okay, so what's really in the closing costs, right? So before you're getting ready to close on your home, due to this wonderful act called RESPA, and it's the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. What is that? In a nutshell, it is basically a legal and fair way to present 3 days before you're closing who's paying what, who's getting what. There's something called a closure settlement statement. Closure, they recently renamed it. It was settlement statement for years. Now it's a closure settlement disclosure. Let me get my words together. There is just coffee in here, folks, I promise. No peach margarita this time. So in any event, so 3 days before you're getting ready to close, it's going to have who pays what, who is getting what, and also if you're in a condo or an HOA, 3 days before that closing, that's the time, minimum 3 days. That's the time where your realtor should be getting you those declaration of covenants, your bylaws, articles of incorporation, FAQs, any sort of rules, architectural forms, architectural standards, guidelines. Guys, there's so much with HOAs and condos. That'll actually be on a future episode. I'm going to jot that down. That's some good stuff because I've been doing that for 15 years. And that's something I could absolutely talk to you about all day long. So, okay. So thanks to the RESPA, the Settlement Procedures Act, you have this form. And like I said, it tells you everything that everybody pays for. So what is on this form? Okay. And it really breaks it down. It's so nice and transparent. So where the money goes. So you've got 2 columns on this. One is the buyer's side and one is the seller's side. And at the bottom, there's your calculations. I wanted to pull one up, but all the ones that I have people's personal information on it. So I really didn't want to pull that up. But there are blank ones. So if we're customers and clients, I'll get a blank one for you to review on our Zoom call if you're interested in that. So where the money goes. So the 2 column, the buyer and the seller. So on the buyer side, okay, You've got your lending fees, right? If unless you have a pure cash buyer, this person's coming to the table with some sort of lender fees, right? And that's going to be your conventional loan, your FHA loan, your VA, maybe your USDA. If you go back and watch episode 2 from last week, we actually touched on each loan and what each loan means. So go back and check that out. Okay, got to get an appraisal on that bad boy, okay? So remember, you're the buyer, okay? You're the buyer. So if you want this house, there's a few things that you're gonna have to pay, and these are not your down payment, okay? We'll get into more of that a little later, but these items I'm mentioning are not down payment at all. Okay, so you've got your lender fees, you've got your appraisal fee, how much it takes for the guy to get out there with the clipboard and appraise that. Got your survey. That's another guy out there with the clipboard. That's the one that puts the orange flags out there. Very important to know where your survey and property line is. That way, when you want to go put that shed, that fence, whatever, you can stay in your lane and where your lane is, basically. That survey, that is some of the best money you will ever spend in your life. And I'll tell you, great neighbors. Wait, what's that saying? Great fences make great neighbors. Boy, is that true. Hand to God. Is that true? Raise your hand. That is absolutely true. So get that survey and get that fence, right? Any HOA transfer fees, any recording fees. Speaking of recording fees, you're always hearing about the stamps. Don't worry, that's the seller side. This is the amount that's charged by the county to record the deed. That's a very nominal fee, but it's how much that they charge to put that book and page number on there and put it on the website to make you legit. Any prepaids? What are prepaids? Homeowners insurance, property taxes, and mortgage insurance for the month. So those are your prepaid items. Title company fees, title search, title insurance, and escrow settlement fees. We're going to go into a lot more of this in detail when we do our first time home buyer episode, but those on your buyer side, that's what you're going to be paying for, okay? All right, how's everybody doing? Take a big deep breath and let it go. Take a sip of your drink. Woo. It's been a wild day, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. At the beginning of this, my screen was glitching. I was having some technical problems. My allergies are killing me. I ran out of my nasal spray. It's been quite a week. Now I probably have coffee running down my face. And it's cold too. Oh man, it was hot. It was hot when I got on here. All right. Seller side. Hey, what's the seller paying for it? Are they paying for anything? Yeah, they are. Okay, now remember, I'm in Florida. Okay, so the things I'm talking about, laws I'm talking about, are Florida, and I realize you could be watching from anywhere in the world. So you got your seller side, prorated property taxes. You're always going to have some property taxes. Those doc stamps on the deed, realtor commissions. We're actually going to have an episode on that too, because that has recently changed as of last year. There's a whole thing with NEFAR. Realtor commission, transfer taxes, doc stamps, HOA estoppel fee. What's an estoppel fee? Let me tell you about that. And then also title insurance. So there's two different ways that the title insurance comes into play there. That's the owner's policy. Sometimes they want you to close that out. And sometimes on the buyer side, they want you to go ahead and kick that off and get that going. So the HOA estoppel fee, a lot of people don't know what this is. So if you live in an HOA, a condo, a townhome, anything like that, timeshare sometimes will have this. There's an estoppel. And before that purchase there can go to the closing table, the estoppel that's usually paid by the seller, but it can vary. Again, remember, everything can be negotiated, but not everything is negotiable, basically, right? So I have seen the buyer pay for it too. Things now are so different. It is so crazy. But that's why we just go with the flow of real estate, right? We always make sure we're here on our up training and our experience. And that's what gets us through, right? So the estoppel goes to the property management company, who's the management company of that HOA, homeowners association, or the condo association. And it basically says it wants a statement, of course, a statement, a balance. Does this home have any violations? And are they in good standing with the HOA? And this is very important if you are the kind of guy that has, the boat, the trailer, the whatever, the car on blocks in the HOA. And nothing against all that, but there are some neighborhoods out there that definitely have those high standards, right? And they don't want certain things in that neighborhood, which is what makes it that neighborhood. The community association manager in me is always talking about that each neighborhood has its own vibe and its own personality. And y'all know my little realtor in training. She has visited every episode so far. She's who you're going to call in 20 years. Okay, maybe 15. So that estoppel, that's what that is. That tells them, mwah. Do you want to sell houses one day with me? Yeah. That tells you if they're in good standing with the HOA. So like I said, if they have something wrong, a violation, a fine on their home, got fined for a trash can or a boat or whatever, that's going to come up on that estoppel. That is going to come back to haunt that person. What's that Christmas movie with Scrooge the ghost? And he I hope this microphone's on. I know I say that every time. I love you, honey. That's my realtor in training. So anyway, drop what that movie's called. What is that movie called? It's the Christmas movie where he's the ghost and it comes back to haunt him. Anyway, that boat trailer is going to come back to haunt that person when they get that estoppel. So that is typically what that is. Who's got any questions? Drop it. Buyers and sellers both pay for totally different things, okay? So just to recap, the buyer side, we've got some lender fees, appraisal fees, the survey, title company fees, prepaid, like the insurance, survey, HOA transfer fees, COA transfer fees, and seller side, we've got their title insurance owner's policy, estoppel fees, transfer taxes, real estate commissions, and prorated property taxes. I am looking forward to the first time home buyers workshop because as you see, there is a lot to unpack and eat and digest there. There's a lot going on. And my first experience was rocky, as you know what, and that's why I want to help people. So how can the buyers plan for this? Okay, so you're going to buy a house. There's going to be some stuff to pay. Hey, I'm buying a house. I know I've got to bring some money to the table. And you don't want to be caught off guard. Nobody likes surprises, especially financial surprises. So how can that buyer plan for it? Ask your lender if you're getting a loan, ask your lender for what they call a loan estimate. And this must be given to you anyway, 3 days of your application, but ask for that LE loan estimate early. That way you can see everything that's on there, right? Make sure your terms are okay. Your interest rate, how many years? Is there a prepayment penalty? Is it transferable, assumable? There's so many questions with loans. I think we should make that another episode where we'll be bringing our MLO on here to answer some real estate finance questions. I think that'd be great. We're going to do that too. Save slightly more than you expect. So usually about 2 to 3%, maybe 4 to be real conservative percent more than what you think in your head. Because remember, at the end, you're going to have the survey, the guy with the flags, the appraisal. You're going to have to pay for this, that. If your home needs any repairs. That is another rabbit hole. And I actually have a personal story about that. I was trying to sell one of my personal residential homes as is because it was a 1953 Arlington block home. And while it had knew this and knew that, I had a pool in the back that was previously an in-ground pool that was previously installed, for very loose terminology, by the previous owner of the home who was there for about 30 years. And he, woo, just put this thing together. And my first day in the pool, the whole thing pretty much collapsed. It turned into such a nightmare with this pool. 14 years later, and lots of money literally down the drain, I went to go sell this home, and I didn't want to fix that pool. I had already put 4 pumps in there. I had drained it. I had fixed it. I had done so much. But the person buying it could not get insurance. He already got his loan. He was approved, went to underwriting. He was ready to rock and roll. And then the insurance guy came out, and because the pool pump thing was broken, he said, I can't do anything until you fix this. So you, as the seller, sometimes it depends. You've got a decision to make. And I remember my broker, I'll never forget this till the day I die. I love you, Elaine Brooks. My broker said, sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit, honey. And boy, was she right. And I'm glad she did, because we sold that home in 37 days. And here I am in Yulee. And that actually brings us to our next topic here in a second. How can I buy a home when I need to sell the current home that I'm living in? So that's going to be right here in about 1 minute. So that we already talked about how the buyers can, so that's just a quick personal story of how that can happen. Things can happen out of the woodwork. So that's where that 3-4% more came into play. I had to, at the last moment, pay for another pool pump in order to sell that home, because no one would be able to get insurance on it. So that is some real stuff. That's why we're doing this show, right? To help somebody. There's somebody out there that's going to hear that. That's going to go, whoa, I didn't think of that, right? How can sellers plan for it? So know your local transfer fees, the agent commissions, everything ahead of time. Guys, real estate transparency. I'm a transparent agent. Let me know, right? Let me know the questions. You're a realtor. I work for you. I tell you everything, right? Everything ahead of time. Get a mock net sheet from that agent, which would be me. Expected profit after costs. I remember, doing this with the homes that I was selling, the personal homes, to see how much that I was potentially getting back, right? Keep your HOA. Oh, the community manager in me agrees with this. Keep your HOA accounts current. Late fees and interest can hold up your closing. Remember, we're talking about the estoppel. If your house is painted too funky colors, you got a boat trailer, car on blocks, hell, maybe all of the above. That's going to slow your sale down. That's going to slow it down. So I know if you hate the HOA, you're trying to move and get out of it. I get it. But maybe suck it up, buttercup, for the moment that you're trying to sell it, right? Clean it up, make it look good. You want that community association manager to do that inspection and make sure that they can sign off that your home is good to go, right? And listen, there are pros. I'm going to write this down. There are pros. We're going to do an episode on this. I get so many ideas when I'm talking out loud. Who else does that? Raise your hand. Just kind of talking. I'm going to talk to myself too. Like I'll be doing the laundry, dishes, and I'll just talk things out. And I'll be like, man, that's a great idea. But there are pros. I'm probably the only one. That's okay. There are pros and cons to living in an HOA and a COA, and we're going to do an episode on that. I've lived in both a homeowners association and a non-homeowners association, and there are definitely pros and definitely cons, good, bad, ugly. Call me Clint Eastwood, everything in between, right? So that's what that is. Okay, so like I said before, the closing costs are not the same as your down payment. So make sure you know the percentage of your down payment. Sarah, how do I know that? Well, that's going to be with your lender, right? Are you doing FHA loan, VA, what USDA, what conventional, what kind of loan are you doing? I'm sure you shop that loan out, right? Hopefully you did. And if you need some help, like I said, I have a mortgage loan originator that can help you. So make sure you know your closing costs are totally different from your down payment, right? So that's two different things. Okay. Every loan type has different closing cost expectations. So we're going to do a future episode of all the loans and the expectations and typical percent what you need to bring down. So just do some research on your loans. I'm sure you'll do that. All right. You can negotiate, but not everything is negotiable. I think we know that. All right. That is the end of that part. And before we roll into the next topic, everybody get it together, get your snack, get your drink. First episode, I had water because I ran out of coffee. The second episode, I had coffee. And now the third episode, I have another coffee, a really good coffee this time. All right, y'all got any questions? Let me know. The market's changing. The times they are changing. All right. This topic, guys, who's with me? You still awake? Come on, that's the fitness instructor in me. Are you still out there? Come on. Woo woo. Okay. Take a sip. How can I buy a home? Next topic. How can I buy a home when I need to sell the current home that I am living in? And I just lived this experience 3 years ago, coming from Jax to Yulee. So I'm going to tell you about my experience and talk to you also a little bit about what you can do. Okay, so say you're in a home. For me, I loved my home, right? This was the little brick Arlington home I'm always talking about. Okay, I love the home. My kind of surrounding area around it was starting to change. Dynamics were starting to change, right? So I was in a position, I felt like, where I had to move. I wanted to move quickly. I'd outgrown that home, right? We bought it with 0 kids in mind. Surprise, surprise, a couple years later, the drill. And there was, 4 of us in a 15, 20 something square foot home. And we were definitely outgrowing it and had a tiny backyard. That crappy pool took up like 85% of my backyard. And that was not safe, with little toddlers running around. So I didn't want the fence, the whole thing. I wanted a new scoop, right? Like I said, bought that house without kids in mind. So things changed. Now in my 30s, I wanted to be somewhere different. My husband's from Yulee, so he wanted to go back to Yulee. And as you know, Wildlight, we have A+ schools out here. So I said, you know what, honey, you finally, 15 years later, you finally talked me into going back to Yulee because our schools here are absolutely phenomenal. We have walking trails. We have, everything. Live, work, play, have your coffee, have your beer, walk the dog. It's so great out here, right? So anyway, so for us, we did a short-term loan. So there's short-term loans, there's bridge loans, which are special for this, short-term rentals. So there's a lot of avenues you can do. I did the short-term. I think that, again, this is the real talk. So I'm going to give you the 3 different things that you can do, and then I'm going to tell you what I did and give you the real talk. Okay. So loans, right? You could take out a small loan. You can go ahead and put your entire moving expense on that loan, move, sell your house, pay the loan, right? Okay. Easy peasy, right? There's special things that are called bridge loans. Now you can get this bridge loan. You do have to have some higher credit for that. And just like it says, it bridges that gap, right? So it's basically a small loan for people who are trying to jump from the one home to the other. So you usually do your equity up front with these loans, excuse me. They usually last about 6 to 12 months. It usually pays off when the current home sells. Interest rates can be a little bit higher because it is a convenience loan, right? So again, we have a mortgage loan officer here on staff that can help you with questions too if you need help getting a loan. So that's what that bridge loan is. Sometimes they do the interest only payments or the deferred payments, right? Okay. So sometimes that's nice. There's some pros and cons, right? Don't need to rush for selling your home. You can still get that equity. The cons are the higher interest rates and the short-term timeline. You do need good credit and solid financials for that bridge loan, okay? Short-term rentals, you can just move. People ask me, pause. People ask me all the time when they want to sell their home, Sarah, should I stay in the home or should I move? Real talk, real quick. Now, that, of course, is a very personal question, depending on a lot of factors, right? Can you move? How much money does that move make? Are you in a position to move? Are you in the military? There's so many things going on, okay? But with that being said, sorry, I just got who's with me? Oh my goodness. I'm telling you what, I told you about my allergies. Woo, we're gonna get it together here. Okay. So sorry, I just this is the second time I've done this tonight. I just totally lost my train of thought. I'm probably gonna delete this whole damn video. I'm gonna be so honest with you. Okay, let's get it back together. I'm telling you what, it is late. It is on a Sunday night. We've got about 10 more minutes to go. Well, I got the open house of the week and the market stats. Okay, so real quick. So we went over the bridge loan, short-term rentals. You already know what that is. Okay, that's what I was talking about. Sarah, do I need to move or can I stay in my house? So statistics show if your home is vacant, it will sell quicker. That is the real talk. Some people have a hard time coming into a space and looking at it and visualizing it empty with all their stuff in there. Some people have no problem with that. But statistically, it will sell quicker if the house is empty. So that is something to think about. That's why this topic is near and dear to me, because I had to sell my first home. I wanted to move to Yulee, wanted to do it quickly before a child started kindergarten, and I was in a debacle. So that's why I want to tell you what you can do, and then I'm going to tell you what I did. Okay, so you've got your bridge loan, your short-term rentals. So like I said, you can move into a short-term home or an apartment and try to sell your home that way. So what I did, I actually did a regular loan. I really did, guys. I didn't do a bridge loan. I'll tell you exactly what I did. This is the real. This is what I did, and this is what I recommend if you can. If your credit's okay to mod, walk into the bank that you have the relationship with, right? If you've got your direct deposit paycheck at VyStar or what's that Fifth Third Bank, Chase, whatever, Navy Federal, walk in there first and try to get a loan. Be upfront. I'm moving. Need money for U-Haul. Movers. I'm moving. What I did, I like I said, my neighbor, we had outgrown that home. It was getting stuffy. I wanted a park I could walk to. I wanted a lot of things, right? So we started to clean up and walked into the bank, got the loan, had the U-Haul probably 4 days later, boxed everything up. I would say within about 3 weeks, had 14 years. It was bittersweet. We knew we were moving on to bigger and better, but it was hard. And we found a rental, a single family home rental, a 1-year single family home rental. That money from that loan was enough money for the moving expenses. U-Haul first month. Usually when you do a rental of a single family home, they want first month, last month, and deposit. Sometimes second month if your credit is lower than 600. but typically it's the first month's last month in deposit. So that loan paid for all that and all of that. I sold that home in 37 days, the one that I'm talking about. And then with the proceeds from that sale, I turned around and paid that loan immediately. I think I paid it like 2 months of that loan, but that loan was able to provide me the financials I needed immediately. And you could I'm not a financial expert. You could talk all day about, credit and what that does to credit. Does it help you? Does it hurt you? Because you're paying a loan off, but you're getting a credit. Talk to your financial advisor, um, you know, about that. But it did help my credit because I got a loan and I paid it off quickly, right? That's what they do. That debt to income or that debt ratio, right? Credit cards and loans are such narcissists. Here, I'm going to give you this money and then I'm going to totally penalize you when you use it and when you pay it off. But I didn't care. Everything I do is for my family. I believe in faith, family, and finances. And unless it falls into one of them categories, I don't let it rock my world, right? Right. What really gets you going. So that's the real talk. That's what I would do. I'd take out a little loan, knowing you're going to move, clean up your home, list your home with me, get it sold quickly, cash that check, and pay off that loan and sail on down the sunset, honey, to your new home. How about that? That's what I did. I'll help you do it too. You just need the real person. A lot of people are afraid to give you the real. That's why I named this show that. All right, we've got a few minutes. Anybody in the chat? What you got? Where are you watching from? All right, so real quick, I'm gonna make this one real quick because I added it in there actually the last minute. So AI. Okay. I asked AI to tell me about AI. So this is funny. I think you'll like this. I asked ChatGPT. Um, I said, give me AI in real estate and how to make it work for you and how it can ruin it. And at first off the bat said, AI is not robots doing real estate. Okay, I didn't say that, but okay. You're going to come right off the bat with that. Okay, Elon Musk, it's smart tools that help agents work faster, find better info, and gives the clients smoother and more information, which obviously I'm so all about that. Okay, but my favorite part, and just so you know, it's this really cool actually. AI, Zillow and ChatGPT have kind of integrated. So now if you ask something on there, it can kind of integrate with Zillow, which is pretty cool. But realtor.com is still your best source if you are a regular customer without the MLS access. Realtor.com is your best source. But what AI doesn't replace? Your real estate bestie, guys. Listen, we negotiate for you. Negotiate our asses off, to be honest with you. My 15 years of property management comes to play so good in real estate because, I manage these condos and these vendors sometimes will come in and just see some dollar signs driving through the gate and they will want to charge my customer a crazy obscene amount of money. And let me tell you, I negotiate all my vendors' contracts, everything. My customer is number one. So I don't see AI doing that yet. I mean, it's just some words, but are they on the phone with the man going back and forth? Because I'm comfortable doing that. Comfortable all the way. Y'all should have seen me at the sidestep. Y'all should have seen me buying the minivan at the car dealership. Oh my gosh. My husband was like, oh my God, I was negotiating. I was pulling through. Tell you what, your girl was on it. Emotional decisions. Listen, selling or buying a home is an emotional roller coaster. It can be bittersweet, like my experience. It can be super exciting. I love the closings where everyone at the table's happy. The buyer gets a brand new, awesome, beautiful house. The seller's getting a check. Realtors are getting commission. Everybody's happy at that table. But it is emotional. It is very emotional. There's, like I said, Clint Eastwood, good, bad, and ugly, right? I hope that's him in that movie. If it's not, please correct me. But it is emotional. I had to sell my mom's house after she passed away. I was in my early 20s and she passed of cancer, and that was my childhood home. Um, that was, talk about an emotional decision. And my realtor at the time was amazing because I wasn't one yet. This was in my early 20s. And they helped me. They helped me out a lot. And that was hard to let go, right? But they let me see the silver lining, the good at the end of the tunnel. And I know AI wasn't doing that. Hey, your local expertise. You got a local realtor in action. AI cannot replace that at all. Contractor repair and insights. I've been doing property management for a long time. Relationship trust. AI does not replace a skilled, caring agent having a bestie in real estate. Okay. So let's go ahead and share that screen. Who's ready for some stats, guys? We got some stats. We got an open house of the week. I'm trying to keep this thing to 45 minutes. It's 45 minutes right now. Because I know how I know how it goes, y'all. I watch a lot of YouTube, which is why I'm doing this and not Instagram and TikTok and stuff. Because YouTube is a platform that I'm really on all the time as a consumer, right? I absolutely love it. Okay, so real quick, let's go ahead. I'm actually going to skip to here. Let's do the stats real quick. And then we have our open house of the week. Let's go ahead and do that. Actually, the open house of the week is in River Glen, guys. River Glen, zone for Wildlight schools here in Wildlight. There are amazing amenities over there. So this open house of the week here, it is listed by Tanya Bodek at Summer House Realty. And I pulled this. I wanted you to see this because the open house is actually Sunday, November 30th. Sunday, November 30th between 1 and 3. And it's in River Glen. And it's actually right down the road from the school and from the wildlife. You know River Glen. Yeah, you would. Like whatever. So I just want to show you this real quick. This is the this is the is it doing it? I love you.
No, it's not doing it.
It's not doing it.
Movie end.
It's not doing my share screen.
It's weird.
See, that's why I'm playing it. Episode 1, I didn't do that. And I was caught off guard. That's okay, y'all. Here, let's see. Let's see. Okay. So there's me and you. Okay, window. Why is it not letting me share my screen?
I don't know. Mama.
Mm-hmm.
I want Kitty on the wall.
Hello, Kitty on the wall.
I have Kitty.
All right, well, I'm going to have to... You have to give me just a second, sweet love.
Okay.
I might have to cut this off early, guys. It will not let me share my screen. Do you got it? Is it showing it? I think so. Okay. Anyways, this is an open house that's on the 30th between 1 and 3. It's in Wildlight. And like I said, it's by Summer House Realty. If you are interested in this home, let me know. It's going for 339, 3 bed, 2 bath, 1711 square foot. Look at that big old lot, 6970 lot. Nice. Amenities, amenities. It has only been on the market for 10 days, guys. This is a hot one. River Glen. If you want me to come with you to the open house, let me know. If not, roll on by. Tell my girl Tanya that I sent you. Okay, so I'm having some. I don't even know if you can see this. I'm having some technical issues right now. All right, is this live still on? Okay, I think we are still there. I appreciate y'all dealing with me. Listen, I have been in this industry 15 years, but new. Somebody laughed at me last week when I said new to the YouTube. I know I sound like an old lady. All right, let's get some stats. Okay, look, it's working. Yay, me. Single family residence in Duval. This is for October 2025. Check out those stats, guys. Woo! Median days on the market 39. That is hot. If your friend is like, I'm trying to sell my house and it's sitting on the market forever, well, is it priced right? I mean, listen, sometimes you need a real realtor to tell you what's going on here. Now that's Duval. I'm going to show you Duval, Nassau, and St. John's. Okay. Those are the 3 areas that I mainly work in. I'm licensed in all of Florida. Nassau staying on there a little bit longer, 63. You'll notice we're getting to St. John's next. You'll notice that higher the sales price, the longer the days on the market, right? That's how it works. So that was my first one was in Duval. The home I sold personally was in Duval, and that was a 37-day sale. So I'm telling you, Duval, y'all are some movers and shakers out there. Y'all are come on, help me with the football pun. Y'all are really running back. I don't know. Help me out. Okay, St. John's. Take a look here. Median sales price, median days on the market. Not too much different there. Giving you some market stats. I'm all about facts, not fear. Showing you some awesome stuff here. There are 20,240 active homes right now of all property type in the Northeast Florida region. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Okay, let me get back to it. Okay, here we go. All right, let's take a look here at our Duval. Woo! And like I said last time, the areas, you'll see 57 areas selected. That is just different parts of town, okay? That's for Duval. Duval. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Here goes St. John's. I'm sorry, Nassau. And like I said, guys, you ever want to hop, you're getting ready to sell your house, buy a house, want to hop on a Zoom call, I'd love the opportunity to talk to you, tell you what I can do to help sell your house. If you're interested in my free sellers guide, let me know. I have a free sellers guide I've been putting together on how I can help you sell your home. All right. So where's this at? Let's take a look, right? Remember, we want to do our Duval. Take a look at that. Oh, see, these weekly trends are really what you want to watch. And look, as you see here, it even gives you the prior year. That's for Duval. Oh, I appreciate you working with me tonight, guys. My allergies. You ever get so it like makes your head hurt? It's just so crazy. Okay, so this is for Nassau. Wow. Wow. That is, well, that's a lot of new construction builds. Remember, we got a lot of new construction builds out here. And that's going to be a future episode, just so you know. Should I buy a new construction or should I buy an existing home? Okay, so you got our market trends there. I love to give you some market insights here. That's for the same. Okay, yeah, we already did that. Okay, cool beans. And this right here, this is nice. This is actually public. You don't have to log in to the MLS, but if you just go to the real MLS website and you scroll down, you can actually get yourself some little market graphics too. And anybody can go get that. You don't have to log in. See, log in. Obviously, your realtor can log in and give you up to the minute a geographic zooming in, your CMA, all kinds of market analysis. That's what we just saw in the other one. They make it public too, which I think is really good. All right, guys. Ooh, I exceeded. Sorry, ran over a little bit. I appreciate you dealing with me. My mind and brain went blank. Don't worry, I'm not having a stroke. It's been a long weekend. It has been a wonderful weekend. Okay, guys. So that's it for this one. Real quick, I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving. When I talk to you next Saturday or next Sunday night, you would have went through the Thanksgiving. So I hope you get to rest, relax, have a beautiful, blessed Thanksgiving. Next week, top 5 mistakes first home buyers make and how to avoid them, and the hidden costs of home ownership and how to budget for them. So if you are a first time home buyer or someone you know is a first time home buyer, that's one you don't want to miss. There's tons of first time home buyer information on that. And as we always close out, everybody take a big, beautiful 4-count breath. Inhale, filling up those lungs with beautiful, positive energy and information. And let it go. And with so much love and gratitude, thank you for allowing me to be your real realtor. And I will see you out there, fam. Have a beautiful night. I need to go to bed. No more coffee for me. My brain is literally done. Peace. Love you. Namaste. Bye, y'all.